They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! With 0.6 of a second remaining.
Yo, what's up, everybody? This is the Outlet Pass Podcast. I am your resident JT McConnell, the homie's homie. More importantly, my real name, Justin DiVirgilio, joined along on the phone with me, my good friend and co-host, Dante Parentozzi, along with our resident Raptors fan, Matt Larouche. First off, Don, how you doing tonight?
What's good, Derek? How's it going?
Just chilling, getting ready to talk about basketball with you and Matt. Matt, how about you?
What's going on, guys? And I'd like to have my title changed to Raptors correspondent and referee evaluator.
See, I mean to say correspondent because I've used that word before. I think
it sounds very official.
It does.
But listen, don't act like he didn't just slip into referee stuff too.
Say the referee thing again
crux.
for me and the people one time.
It's the referee evaluator.
Official referee evaluator. He belongs. Where's the NBA headquarters? Is it New York?
Secaucus,
New Jersey. Of course it is.
Where the boy Russ is from. For anybody to know that he dropped Paranoid today, Russ, the boy from Secaucus. Let's get it. All right.
If you let him tell, it would be from Atlanta. But like we're not here to talk about Russ, even though we're avid fans. Now, all right. Let me fix that now. Let me do the introduction again. This is the second take. Our official Raptors correspondent and referee evaluator, Matt Larouche, and resident Raptors fan. How you doing?
What's going on, guys?
Is that better suited for what you wanted now that your team is up 2-1?
Yeah, it's exactly what I wanted. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I'm here to pipe you up. I'm happy for the Raptors.
And I'm here to pipe you down. I can't be having that. I'm not even.
You can't. You guys are all negative Nancy's during the game. So
listen, I'm not even a Warriors lover, but like it was so frustrating to watch Steph get no help last night. We'll get into that all.
Oh yeah,
that's when my boy LeBron James gets right into it.
Yeah, keep going. No, that's
the
a great place
memes,
to
baby,
start.
right now. The memes. I love the LeBron memes. They're finally coming to their senses that Steph can't do it alone. Thank God Klay's coming back for Game 4. That would cripple them if he wasn't there. Because the series. Ugh.
Imagine that this is, and it came in the back of my mind today, and of course we can't kind of assume, because if the Raptors have won Game 2, you probably think Klay Thompson at least tries to play Game 3, but the Raptors could easily be up 3-0 right now with those injuries. It's really interesting. It would be, of course, we don't know. Klay Thompson probably would have played Game 3 if they were up 2-0. Even Durant, I don't know. They might have skipped his timeline up, but man, it could have been Raptors 3-0. Can you imagine that?
I'm sure you would be ecstatic. And they did outplay them in the 3 games that have been played in the finals. I will say that.
Raptors have won 10 of 12 quarters.
Wow.
But the thing is,
Matt, you were calling for the sweep.
I told you at the beginning, Raps in 4, and honestly, like now, like I mean, after the fact, look at it, it's not. Obviously the injuries happen, and that's why. But like, I mean, it could have easily happened because it could easily be 3-0 right now.
You are absolutely right. I can't even speak. You're absolutely right. But like, we know that the Warriors are notorious for beating you in a quarter so bad that you're playing catch up. And as long as they keep up with you in that quarter that they're up 15, you're losing the game.
Matt, I'm pretty sure I told you this as well. In the Blazers series, the Blazers led more in all the games, more than the Warriors did. Like Justin said, they know how to like close games, and like the fourth quarter. Sometimes that's all they need, and that's how they won Game 2 in my eyes, at least.
Yeah, it's a great point. I think the statistic was the Blazers were up 17 in every single one of their games in that 4-game sweep, And I think even now, I think the Warriors have now gone down double digits in the past 7 games of the playoffs in the first half. They've been down by more than 10 in the last 7 games, which is absolutely ridiculous. The problem is you can get away with it with the Blazers because the Blazers play terrible defense. You can't really get away with it. They got away with it game 2. That's an unprecedented run in the finals. That's the biggest run in finals history. Was the 18
wow.
third quarter.
That's
That
true.
third quarter was crippling.
Legit.
But when an offense goes cold, that don't help the cause either, right? So that's kind of how that went.
That's how these runs happen. Is the Raptors also went historically bad. All they really needed was one bucket in that run, and it kind of quiets this whole thing down. But you had everything kind of go wrong at the same time. They missed their first 8 shots, and then they turned over the ball, I believe, 4 times, 2 of which were offensive fouls on screens, on moving screens by Gasol, which, as a referee evaluator, I think one of them was iffy call, one of them was a terrible call. But they basically gave Marc Gasol 2 fouls in the first 5 minutes of that quarter. On an already bad situation for the Raptors, they had already given up 9 or 10 points to start the quarter, and are at that point already down. But it just kind of added fuel to the fire. And so I don't think it happens again. And I think if you're the Warriors, it kind of feels like they're playing the series. They're kind of just messing around at this point, especially with all these injuries. And they're just because game 3 kind of felt like, all right, we're going to toss Steph Curry out there and see what happens, but we probably lose this game. And they seem perfectly content with that. But, time is running out. This is not really a team that you can mess around with. There's 2 more. The Raptors just need to win 2 more games.
Yeah.
And the Raptors are a good enough team that they could win 2 games against the Warriors. I wouldn't say it's statistically favored, but it's absolutely possible. Even if they had Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson, they're they're gambling with time.
Hey.
The
only thing is,
with their time.
The thing with that is that you just haven't seen that part yet. KD hasn't been here the whole time. I don't know where you get that from unless you're that confident in the way your team plays defense.
Well, look at and this would be the same thing for you guys if the Sixers had made the finals, right? Because you look at going into the finals, you're playing the Warriors, right? And you look at the series, and you're like, "There's no way we can." We're assuming the Warriors at full strength here. You're like, "There's no way we take 4 out of 7 against the Warriors, right? We might win 1, we might win 2 on some really good games by our stars, or maybe they have an off night, right?" But now, you just need to win 2 of 4, and then 2 of those games are at home. That's not outrageous. Yes, it's still hard, but it's not outrageous. It's not something that now is inconceivable for that to happen, especially with the Raptors. The Raptors are a good team. They're a top. They're by the book in the playoffs, they're a top 2 team now in the NBA. But in general, with the regular season, they're a top 5 team. It's not out of the question for them, even when the Warriors are at full strength, to take 2 of 4 from the Warriors. They took both games in the regular season. Granted, it's the regular season, and there were some weird matchups and people out for those games. But we've seen that their defense is legit. There's only one ball. And Durant and Klay Thompson's got a hamstring injury now. Even if he comes back next game, do you think he's going to be as good as he was in game 2 before he got injured?
I didn't think about it like that until I heard someone say exactly the way you said it, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense because he's a shooter. He runs around a lot. He has to get off his feet quickly, and he hurt himself by trying to draw a bullshit foul, which is so ironic.
Yeah,
I hope that teaches him and other players don't try and flop for the foul every single time. If you feel you can get it, try it, but not every time.
And we have Klay Thompson's going to have a hamstring injury, and not only I'm not even worried about the offense, all right? Because at the end of the day, sure, he the jump shot's probably not as effective. It's his lateral quickness. This defense is going to be something to look out for because he's got with a hamstring injury. You've got no lateral quickness.
Yeah,
the hamstring injury going to whatever side. I believe it's his left hamstring that he hurt.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
And Klay Thompson's a good defender. Klay Thompson has been used against Kawhi,
the best 3-and-D guy in the league.
For certain stretches to the point. This is a big issue because Klay Thompson at even 75% it hurts. It hurts the Warriors, and the Warriors lost game 1 with that full squad without Durant.
But let me ask you this: 75% Klay is kind of still better than some of the guys they're putting out there? Like,
Absolutely.
Some of these guys that the Warriors are putting out there, I bet 95% of the people that went to that game last night, according, maybe even the dickhead owner to push Kyle Lowry, probably don't even know who some of those guys were out there.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
I'm like, who the hell is this? I mean, I know them. I know them because we know them. But, like, you know, for the most people, it's like, who the hell is that? You know?
Who's Alfonso McKinney? Yeah, exactly.
Or Quinn Cook.
Alfonso McKinney played for the Raptors last year.
Quinn Cook.
Shout out to Quinn Cook, though.
Quinn Cook likes you guys' Instagrams. You guys are very ecstatic about that.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it represents what Dante just said. We know who's out there, and, like, for him to like it, like, Steph Curry's not going to really like it, but he did. That's pretty cool.
Dude, Quinn Cook was absolutely money from mid-range.
He was. In the fourth quarter, he had the confidence to take the shot when they were, like still close enough where they could try to make a comeback, but, like, still, like, not close enough. I mean, Raptors came right back down and was answering with a 2, I felt like, every time. So, like, they were good at neutralizing any type of run that the Warriors could go on.
Yeah, the Warriors.
And they detect that.
That game could have easily changed if one of those shots doesn't go down and the Warriors actually bring it down to, like, 4 or 5. That crowd gets back into it, and it might be a different game. But just to finish my point though, Dante, because you did bring up Klay Thompson's obviously better, 75% Klay Thompson's better than anybody I mean, at this point, it was Sean Livingston that replaced them in this game.
That's not.
It's
not going to do it.
Steph Curry, I mean, went crazy, right? He scored 47 points on almost 50% shooting. If you look at his splits, I think he was one made 3 away from being 50% from 3, and 2 shots away made from being 50% from the floor. Do you really think it's one? At the end of the day, it is one ball. Do you really think you're getting that much more production because he's taking away? Klay Thompson would take away shots from Steph Curry, right? And you think he's hitting him at more than 50% of clip?
Yeah, I don't think that's happening again. But if they combine, like, if they both get 60, I think the Warriors win.
Yeah, I mean, well, if they're getting both 60, that means the Warriors scored 120 points, and they're probably winning.
I think Klay. I don't doubt, like, the defense may be a problem, but I think the offense will be better than you're saying about Klay Thompson. I do agree with the defensive part. He might not be able to chase around Danny Green to defend Kawhi.
We often don't see Klay Thompson miss 3-4 shots in a row. So, like, you know, when Steph is getting heckled, whatever the hell, all night in a game, you can rely on Klay. I mean, Steph looked exhausted in that fourth quarter. The dude was diving on the floor. I mean, I was like really falling in love with Steph Curry again. Like, seeing him do all the diving. Like, he was really trying to play hard as hell.
He was, because he knew he was the guy.
Steph Curry, bunch of respect for that game. And like you said, he was diving for balls in the fourth quarter in a game that you felt like the Warriors might have been just kind of letting go, but you kind of saw a little bit of desperation from Steph in that game. He was super hyped up when he was scoring. When he drew a foul at one point, he was like fist pumping the air. He wanted to win that game. Like, he wasn't acting like, all right, like, we know we're probably going to lose this game. He was like in the mode that, hey, we're winning this game and we need to win this game. Can't really say that much for some of his other teammates, but
they just missed the shots.
Draymond's got full confidence that they're going to win the next 3 and it's going to be over. So we'll see. But I mean, I'm not going to put any type of blame on Boogie because you can't expect like a ton from him. But, like, you know, we got to see a 20-pointer. I feel like we might get a 20-point game out of him. Obviously, he'll get the assist. He's got great court vision. They start finishing on those plays that he's passing, it'll be jelly. I think they need him to get a couple points. I don't really think Bogut really needs to be out on the floor besides maybe, you know, do a little rim protection when Boogie can't play and maybe use his fouls well. You know what I mean by that? Like, body Siakam a little bit, you know, make it hard for Kawhi. Things that just kind of put a little more struggle on the guys because they just looked like they were getting what they wanted. And the Danny Green, I mean, I don't know if we'll see that again. But, like, that was, oh, my God.
Even if you see half of that, I feel like if the Raptors play the same way, the series does favor the Raptors, even though Draymond is confident. And
Matt's right with the 2-for-4 thing. I mean, that's a big deal. That's
he's
spot
right.
on.
That makes sense. But the one thing Draymond did say was true. I don't know if they're winning that or not. Fun times are ahead for either us, specifically you and the Raptors fans, Matt, the correspondent. You guys will win a first NBA championship. It's going to be entertaining. But, I mean, the people that have to step up are just the guys that have been there before. And asking Boogie, like, I don't know if he's going to replicate his Game 2 performance. Because he's coming off an injury and he gets in foul trouble a lot. It's a faster game at times. It's just different type of basketball.
Yeah, well, it's good that you brought up Boogie, because I think it's got to be such a disappointment for Warriors fans. And don't get me wrong, DeMarcus Cousins has come from some really serious injuries that should have basically ended another big man's career. Like, right, he got an Achilles tear, and then
Achilles is bad. Yeah.
Right, and then these are big injuries. These aren't just small injuries. So, like, credit to him for even making it back to the finals, right? But after watching Game 2, where he was super engaged, he was rebounding everything. He put up double-digit points, right? And in this game, he looked like the slowest player on the court by far. He looked like he didn't want to be there. He had no lift. It made no sense. Marc Gasol is not the most mobile guy on the court, and he was just driving to the rim at will, right? Like, I haven't seen Marc Gasol dunk, like, on the run all playoff series until this game, and it was just easy for him. Like, he literally just turn around and be like, all right, cool, I'm just going to go to the rim. And it made no sense. And that's where, like, literally the Warriors losing Kevon Looney really hurts, because Looney is sneaky, kind of really
He'll go
good
up or
center,
two.
and he's very mobile. What do you guys think?
It's funny you mentioned.
Yeah.
Hold on, you said DeMarcus Cousins, him not being able to defend Marc Gasol. I think the Raptors had a significantly amount more than the Warriors in points in the paint. I don't know they had the same amount, but 38 points in the paint is still decent. Like, that's a big part of their offense. So I think, and it doesn't help that DeMarcus Cousins was hurt. You don't have, like, a legit shot blocker. Like, that was KD, too. That's the thing, too. Like the Warriors were still good when they're healthy, like, without Kevin Durant. But Kevin Durant really made this a dynasty. That's been said a lot this week. I don't know if you guys saw that, but people have said that once or twice. I don't know. I'm stuck on the fact that, like, last week I said Kawhi and KD can't go at it, but we're not seeing the best series possible, and that's from both sides.
We are not.
KD's not healthy. Kawhi's not fully healthy, and Klay's not fully healthy.
And I'm not even going to get into it because I really don't want to at this moment. But, like, the idea that the whistle's getting blown as much as it is like a little frustrating. I know there's always going to be officiating in basketball. But, like, sometimes it just sucks the life out of an arena when a whistle gets called. It's just, like, takes any momentum that people have. And it's like you can't take players like Kyle Lowry out of Game 2 the way they did.
Yeah.
That was frustrating to me.
As your official referee evaluator, right? And I think so. A lot of people get on the refs, and we all have our the names we know, right? That kind of strike fear in our hearts when we see that they're reffing the next game. But obviously, the NBA, these are the best refs you're going to have in the world, right? Because there's a reason they're in the NBA. I think they just need help in terms of it's evident that the game's too fast. Like, it means at this point in basketball, with how the game's grown, it's too fast, right? These players are too good. And they're too good at now selling contact and, like, trying to fake half the game is pretty much trying to convince the ref to call a foul against you, or
it's selling,
right? Yeah. And so, honestly, they need help. I think they need to do something, revamping it, whereas in the off season with replay rules, the same way that the NFL is trying to at least even try. Like, I mean, it doesn't need to work, right? But at least show that you're trying to improve the game. I think being able to replay goaltendings doesn't even need to be. If people are worried about pace of play, or like, all right, we're going to review every single play and it's going to make games like 6 hours long, goaltending replays can easily be just done in the next timeout when there's a TV timeout. Same way that you can review 2s or 3s, right? Like that can retroactively change the score, no problem. I think goaltendings are perfectly fine in doing that. I think restricted area. Blocking fouls and charges, where they basically the only reason that it's a block or a charge is because their foot's in the restricted area. That can also be reviewed. That's pretty clear cut. Like, hey, it's on the video, we're good. And that one would need to be like at the time of the play, so that might slow down the game. So maybe even doing kind of like a challenge system. But I think at this point, we need to stop complaining about getting new refs in there, because they're obviously going to be the best refs in the world. I don't think the NBA would just keep random people around, knowing that there's other people that are probably better than them. But they just need help.
Wow, Josh, you hear the man's turning a new leaf?
I mean,
showing what I love to the refs since they're up 2-1.
At the same time saying, you guys are great. You just need a little help.
They do need help. They do.
I don't know. No, well, that's the thing.
No, the
They
one
haven't been
thing,
great. They've
real
been
quick,
terrible.
before, like, you made a really good point when you said it could be done in TV timeouts. Like, all you have to do, we see it, the replay mad times on TV. They always show, oh, that could have been a goaltending. What is this? Like, you know how they go through and they debate it on TV, and we all debate it in our living room, bar, wherever we're at. So they could do it real quick and then show everybody at the game on the big screen real quick. Be easy. The blocking and charging makes it more like the NFL. And, like, we're going to go over here real quick. Everybody stands on the side, and we're going to review this play for about a minute and a half when, like, everyone makes their decision in the first 5 seconds of seeing it. And then, like, they're taking so long. But, I mean, I don't know how they would do blocking and charging fouls. Like, changing fouls is, like, unless it's super blatant, then I'd be okay with it because I want the right call.
Yeah, I think it's just something to explore in terms and obviously it's not going to happen overnight.
You think they could do it in G League games first?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what the G League's there for, right? And it's not only just the development of players, but, I mean, just developing ideas. Yeah, I think it's a great point to bring up. I think putting all these rules kind of in the G League and seeing how it's going is a good thing, because we saw this happen in the NHL where they implemented the offsides challenge, and it turned into a disaster because legitimately every single goal was getting challenged to see if it was offsides. And it didn't matter if you had stayed in their zone for like 3 minutes. If you had entered the zone offsides, it nullified the goal. And it wasn't in the spirit of the rule. Like, it would be millimeters of time. So now they had that 1 year where it's just absolutely ridiculous. And then they altered it again to make it so that you can only offsides challenge once a game. And if you're wrong, you get a penalty. You get a 2-minute power play for the other team. And so I think it's a good way to do it is you go to the G League, you kind of see what nuances pop up or what you didn't see coming. That's like bad about the rule or what's good about the rule or what you can improve, and then you can implement it in the NBA.
All right.
That makes sense.
Now, the funny part about it, though, is that, like, there have been missed calls, but they always even out the fouls. Like, I'm looking at, this is game 3. The Raptors only had one more foul than the Warriors. So, like, I addressed the concern you have with the refs and just wanting to get it more right than humanly possible because they're humans just calling the game. Like, they don't affect the game that directly because whatever team usually wins. Like, the Raptors in game 2, even though a lot of calls didn't go their way in the first half, how they should have been up by 20, like, they just missed way too many shots in the third quarter. Because I think that game would have been way closer.
It's true, but at the same time, I understand your argument. But at the same time, yes, I think the Warriors kind of stayed in that game for 2 reasons in game 2, at least in the first half. Klay Thompson couldn't miss from 3, right?
True.
And the game slowed down incredibly because of the fouls. And not only that, you had 3 players going to halftime with foul trouble. You had Lowry already had 3. I believe Gasol also had 3. Sorry, not Gasol. Ibaka had 3. And I believe Kawhi had 3. Going into the second half, and that was a big dent on how you're going to game plan the second half. That means that any one of those guys gets a foul early in the third quarter, and they're not playing until the fourth. And so, not only did it, Kyle Lowry fouled out with 6 minutes to go, but he also didn't even play that many minutes because he had so many fouls, right? So he's sitting on the bench. That's basically the leader of your offense in terms of getting everything set up. Obviously, Kawhi gets the ball a lot, and he's the de facto leader of the offense, right? But Kyle Lowry is the one that facilitates and kind of keeps everybody calm. And so I think just looking at fouls in general and seeing all the evened out at the end is also a good way to look at it. It's not like there's a massive free throw discrepancy on either team, but there's definitely flows of the game or momentum that the refs kind of just take away from certain teams. And sometimes it just seems like that's what kind of spells doom for them at the end of the game.
And a team like the Warriors rides on momentum the same way a team like the Celtics do. Raptors don't as much because I mean, yes, their fans are really into it, but as players, like I don't see crazy emotion from a lot of the guys sometimes.
They don't just heat up all at the same time.
Yeah. It's just I feel like it's a little different. Like the Warriors are just like, all right,
which makes sense.
3 minutes, and they just scored 14 points. Like wow, okay.
Yeah, Kawhi's very methodical. Like they're completely different brands of basketball, which is probably the most balanced the finals have been in the Warriors era because it's always been LeBron and how the Cavs played that year. Like this is, I don't know. Like this could have been the best matchup. As much as I wanted the Sixers in it, this is also a great matchup. I've just been hating because I didn't like the way my team lost, to be honest.
I still want KD to play, just like you said, Josh. I mean, I'm really getting stripped of that right now. I don't know if it's. I mean, he literally was wearing ice on his leg, so I'm like thinking, all right, this dude might just be chalked up. Well, unless they're really trying for him to get back.
Does anybody know about calf injuries?
I'll chime in back in because this is my take on our first episode for the finals. They ruled Kevin Durant out of Game 4 about 30 hours before the game happens. That I don't think he's close.
That's not good. Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, if he's close, right? Or you're thinking all right, they're gonna make a game time decision, or they're gonna at least wait till tomorrow and see if he can go, right? But he hasn't practiced yet, and they basically just said, hey, no, Game 4, he's out anyways. What happens if the Raptors win Game 4? It's 3-1. Now you're kind of all right, well, is the same thing I was talking about before. You're basically gambling with time, and you're almost going to, with all this shenanigans of trying to, try to keep them rested as long as possible because, we don't need them till we're actually in trouble. At 3-1, you're in trouble, right? You need now to
definitely in trouble.
You need to beat a Toronto Raptors team 3 times in a row, 2 of which are going to be in Toronto.
I really think, though, if KD could play, he would.
Wouldn't it be poetic if that happened? They lost
at the same time.
It's going to be unstoppable. It's going to be unstoppable for the Warriors. If the Raptors win Game 4 and the Warriors, if Kevin Durant comes back and the Warriors rattle off 3, which is not inconceivable by any stretch of the imagination, right?
Yeah, if they're all healthy, it can happen.
It's going to be. I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle that. I might have rather. But yeah, no, it's. I mean, at some point the Warriors kind of have to think yo, you just got to play. I get that he's incoming, an upcoming free agent, and I get that
that's a big deal.
Injury,
that's for him,
right? But you got Klay Thompson, who we all know this. Tomorrow he's going to go out in there and play, and there's 0% chance it's 100%. It's a hamstring injury. I think we've all probably dealt with hamstring injuries at some point. It takes time, and you re-aggravate it legitimately every time you try to play.
All the time. Oh my gosh.
I know Dante is a big hamstring guy.
See, I never had one of them.
Dang.
Honestly.
Oh, it just lingers, bad. Bro. You can't get out of it. Even the best trainers in the world can't get you out of a hamstring injury. It's just and it just sits there when you jog on and you're like, oh, this feels all right, and then you make a cut on it or a quick run and you're like, oh damn, my hammy wasn't what I thought it was. It's oh.
It's one of those injuries that you need to legitimately be 100% healed from before you can actually start playing. Because if you go out there at 80%, you're gonna re-aggravate it every single time, and then it basically just comes down to can you play through it, and that's what Klay Thompson's gonna do. And I think at some point, Kevin Durant's got. This is why I think it's more serious than they're leading on, because it was just a calf strain. Kevin Durant probably should just play, and I get it, he might re-injure it. But at some point, dude, you're running out of time because if you're gonna wait till you're down 3-1 to have him play, it might be too late. And
but from a strategy perspective, if you were Steve Kerr, wouldn't you hold out before you announce? Scheming purposes.
This is why it makes it's leaning towards is he even close to being played, because they legitimately just rule him out immediately. Even Klay Thompson, you saw after Klay Thompson's limping off, right, barely able to walk in game 2, right? They basically waited till the game and said no, he can't go. And we all knew he's pretty much not able to go, or if he was going to go, he was going to be 25%, right? But in this case, Durant, they're just all right, cool. He's not playing Game 4 either. And now we're kind of going into all right, he might have been back for Game 3. He might be back for Game 4. All right, now we're going to Game 5, which is what they said at the beginning. We're all right, we're aiming for the middle of the series. But I don't know. That means you have to travel all the way back to Toronto. He hasn't practiced yet. He hasn't even scrimmaged yet.
Wait, so this time My bad to cut you off.
Yeah.
So, do you think this time he won't travel? Because if they're ruling him out so early, maybe it's to keep him in the Bay Area, rehab his calf as much as like humanly possible to have him ready for Game 5 of scrimmage. I don't think he's going to practice.
I don't think you can afford to not have him play Game 5 because even if so there's two scenarios. Either Toronto
if they win tomorrow,
the game tomorrow, right, and they're up 3-1, and then you cannot if Kevin Durant doesn't play Game 5, you're probably losing the series in 5.
Think about the effect that leaves on Kevin Durant as well. He's a bitch going to the Warriors, and as he's leaving, he doesn't want to play. Like that will be the narrative spun. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's fair either. I'm not either.
All right.
You know social media. Come on, dude.
But I think too, even if the Warriors win Game 4, all right, I think you have to have Kevin Durant play Game 5 because Game 5 is the most important. It would be the most important game
in the series.
Because 84% of the teams that win Game 5 win the series, and I get that these are different teams, and we're talking about the Warriors here, right? The Warriors would be like the one team that if they were down 3-0, we'd be like, all right, cool, they probably still have a shot at going 4 straight, right? But like, you're really going to wait till Game 6 or 7 to have Kevin Durant play? Because even if you wait till Game 7, let's say it makes it all the way to 7, right? And then Kevin Durant finally comes out. It's one game, dude.
That'd be really weird.
If Kevin Durant's off for that one game because he hasn't played in 2 weeks, then it was pointless, right? If he's
listen, all I'm saying.
What if he does the reverse Walt Frazier?
There's no way KD comes out and is not balling. I'm really confident in that. You got to remember, this dude's the second best player in the world. All right. If he's going to be on a court, he's going to get buckets on somebody's head. I don't even care if it's with one leg. You know, he can raise his leg up the whole time and do like a one-legged Dirk floater or something. He'll get buckets on a dude.
But I think what you need to be worried about is I get you, but it's Kevin Durant with his ego. If he's not getting buckets, let's say for whatever reason the first half it's not going right, it's a little bit off just because he hasn't played in now 3 or 4 weeks.
Yep.
He's not going to give up the ball, dude. It's Kevin Durant. Like, I mean, even when he didn't have this massive ego or like this massive storyline where the Warriors might be better without him, right? The offense ran through him. Like Steph Curry wasn't really getting as many shots as he probably should be getting, as we saw from last game. And if you're like waiting, if this happens in Game 5 or Game 7, this is bad news because that means that like the Warriors' offense is stagnating and the Raptors maybe take away that game. And now you're all that screwing around and letting the Raptors stay around in it. It's like now it's really hurting you.
Okay, yeah, you're right. The one thing you said, because I completely forgot about that narrative because I don't believe it, is that the Warriors are possibly better without Kevin Durant. It doesn't make sense because when they won the first title and then lost the second year and then their second title, KD went there, right? That's right.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, after they lost to the Cavs with that 3-1 deficit, that's when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors after that.
Just need to make sure. So they won it once, and like when he went there, everybody said it was unfair. That's why he's called a traitor, and like he doesn't really care about winning because he took the easy way out, that type of stuff. I don't understand why he would believe that when it just everyone the way people talk about the Warriors, we all know that they're the greatest team like ever that we've ever seen because Kevin Durant is there with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. So if he, but not 100% Kevin Durant. That's the problem. That's the big problem. That's the big black cloud that is over this series. Despite people actually stepping up in the finals, guys like Pascal Siakam, and Fred VanVleet. That's your guy.
Two-time father.
I mean, he's just stepping up. And the Raptors are hitting their threes. Were you surprised as a Raptors fan? They don't hit too many threes, right? Or did they? Were they second?
No, I mean, honestly, in the second half of the season, once they acquired Marc Gasol, I believe they were either first or second in three-point percentage in the league.
Okay. Well, this speaks to hitting 17 threes in Game 3. But keep going.
Yeah, I think wow. You guys got a privilege watching the Sixers Raptors game of seeing the Raptors be ice cold from 3. Because
Danny Green was nowhere.
Because Danny Green and Fred VanVleet were absolutely terrible in the Sixers series. And, I mean, Fred VanVleet, the only thing that really bothers him is size. And the Sixers, I mean, their shortest guy is J.J. Redick. And he's what, 6'4"?
Yes.
6'3"? Mm-hmm. And that's the shortest guy. So Fred VanVleet, like that's why he wasn't that good, right? Because he just wasn't making his shots. No, but the Raptors should, in theory, statistically, be a very good three-point shooting team. Danny Green was second in the league in three-point percentage.
Wow.
Kyle Lowry, when he's on, he's on. Like, I mean, like, you can kind of tell from the first quarter if Kyle Lowry's going to be hitting his threes, not that game. But when he's on, he's on. He's going to hit at least probably around 50%.
Dude, he took
Leonard,
a deep one in the last game. Oh,
yeah,
Lord.
Kyle Lowry's
yeah.
got that.
Yeah.
He got lucky again.
All-time high.
He got hit a crazy shot again in the finals. I
Wait,
gotta stop doubting Fred VanVleet.
Let me ask you something.
Fred
Oh,
VanVleet's
Matt,
the
finish your
king.
players.
Fred VanVleet is the king of fuck it. I know the basket's over here somewhere. I'm just gonna throw it up.
Yeah, he's showing it.
I got a question for you. Can we discuss the Kyle Lowry incident real quick, just for a quick moment, and how, especially in the finals, does it matter more since it's in the finals, or do you see any issue like this a problem? And is it a bigger level because of who the individual is?
Yeah, because of who he is.
Yeah.
That's why the fine was so crazy. That's why he got banned for a year's worth of games.
Deserved.
For a left-handed shove. And I'm not trying to downplay it by the way I'm describing it, but that's what happened. And I do understand. It's just it's so crazy to do. I wouldn't expect Kyle Lowry to do anything unless a dude threw a punch at him. Everybody likes to go back to the malice at the palace. But
Dude,
something
if-
like
if-
that,
He
shouldn't touch him. That's clearly.
If you replace Kyle Lowry with someone else like Serge Ibaka, going into the crowd and then that shit, I don't think that guy's pushing Serge Ibaka if Serge Ibaka's crashing, because I think that entire row is dead if Serge Ibaka goes head first into
Draymond Green?
Yeah, but
What would he do?
But yeah, no, I think you made a good point. It's not it wasn't a big shove by any stretch of the imagination. It's not like it really it easily could have been missed, right? Kyle Lowry could have said nothing and no one ever sees this.
He could have ran off. I missed it in real time.
Yeah, but it's just unacceptable. You're paying. I get it. You're paying money. You're paying big money for these seats, and he's an owner, so he probably didn't pay money for his seats. They just gave it to him. But at the end of the day, these guys are giving you entertainment. It's an entertainment business, right? And you're paying to see them, all right? And
You
need
think
to
he
give them
doesn't know
respect.
the rules?
No,
He
you
knows
need to
not
give
to
respect.
touch him.
At no point should you ever be touching another human being, right?
He's
In
a
general.
rich D-bag.
What,
All right,
yeah, that's
He's a rich
true.
D-bag.
And so Kyle Lowry is playing the game hard. He's competing, all right? As any fan, you should know, if you're sitting courtside, there might be a possibility that either the ball hits you or someone runs into you trying to go for a ball. That happens. But to get mad about that and to put your hands on another player in a not in a general hey, good job, get back out there or something like that, but in a malicious way, it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
And to get mad about him going into the stands like that is like getting mad at a baseball game because a foul ball came near you. It happens. You're supposed to expect that.
Says it on the ticket, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's what LeBron said, my guy. LeBron said,
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy LeBron chimed in and said a little something, made it a little larger because, Kyle Lowry is obviously a little outspoken, but not really towards the media as much as people think. Especially, you don't see him really active on social media, maybe with the media and, in the locker room, but that really wasn't Kyle Lowry-esque besides the little chatter within the boundaries of the game. So I'm happy Brown stepped up on that.
Yeah, and I think it's good because the league could have easily accidentally set a double standard here, but they did a really good job of actually stepping in and basically telling the Warriors, this guy needs to be banned for the year. He needs to have a heavy fine, especially because he's an owner. Because imagine if Lowry, not even a punch, but just gave a shove back. We're talking about maybe Lowry having to be suspended for the next game or something. There's some type of suspension, some type of fine. It's all over the media, right? So there shouldn't have been a double standard where this guy pushes Lowry and gets away with nothing because it's oh, whatever, it was a tiny push. But if Lowry had done the opposite to him, then we're talking about suspensions, we're talking about fines, we're talking about big media scrums and stuff like that about this. And so I think it's good that the NBA stepped in here and is all right, this is unacceptable because if the player had done this to you, everybody would be crying foul. So we're going to do the same thing if you're doing it to our players.
I agree.
They were pretty fast too. I like that. They really took care of business quick.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they had the knife on the neck with a lot of people out crying about it, but still, I thought, they did right by the whole situation. But these super, not even super fans, these these people with a lot of money that sit on the sidelines. It's just like,
Pay
come on, dude.
$52,000 per ticket.
Yeah, like come on.
I get what you're saying. The NBA, the reason the situation was handled so quickly, I think, and like right. I don't know about the money in the year, but whatever, they did something about it. That's fine. And how much is this going to hurt this guy? Like we don't know. We didn't know if he went to games anyway, but. That's besides
he's worth $2.2 billion.
See,
I
I didn't
selling
even
it.
think to go into that, but okay, right. Thank you for helping me out. It's like the NBA is not dumb, and Kyle Lowry's not dumb, so he wasn't gonna hit him. And they were like, and the internet's not dumb. Somebody was gonna catch that. There's cameras everywhere. And you're like right where everyone sees you. You're gonna see what happens, and they were gonna catch it. And I don't know how much this dude cares.
I mean, I don't want fans to be out here sitting like
can't do that
Beyonce, being mute either. But I mean, there needs to be a happy balance. There needs to be a happy balance of some entertainment with the
Did you
but
guys
like
see that story?
no context.
See, yeah, I don't. When I look at it, the only thing that really went wrong there was him putting his hands on Larry. I think when Larry's like,
no
all right,
context.
this guy told me to go fuck myself 2 times. Like, all right, that's fine.
That's
I
fine.
honestly, like, maybe it's like vulgar or whatever, but it's fine. It's a playoff game in the finals, right? You're gonna get some heckling. I think the verbal, as long as it's not like absolutely racist or any type of slur or something like that, then it's fair game. You're allowed to heckle at the game. It's part of all the fun the players do with each other. It's part of sports, right? I think it's just putting his hands on Larry is what really crossed the line. Because imagine if they didn't do anything, but they made this whole fuss about Drake talking trash to the other team.
Exactly.
That would look way worse.
Ridiculous.
I'm done with any Drake hate for the rest of the series. I'm all Drake love. I'm playing my tunes again. So I'm actually just after this is over, me, Lewis, and Nicholas are going to do a little battle rap to Yes Indeed.
Oh my God.
From the music.
Jesus.
So that's the rest of our night.
Public
but
knowledge.
we're back on our Drake tip. So I mean, especially after last night. Come on. I still want the Warriors to win, but I'm all right with it. Oh, you're still not with it?
Nah.
All right, Matt, listen, we're riding together, homie. I still want the Warriors, though. But I'm riding with the Drake stuff. All
That's
for
fine.
the antics.
Once the season's over, I'll be back. It's just a little stupid little fan thing I put up. You know how I say fans have dumb little superstitions or whatever they decide to do, part of their fandom? This is mine.
Mm-hmm.
I'll own it. I can own it.
I'm sure we'll see him in Game 5. I thought he was going to make a Game 3 appearance, but I guess he'll stay up in Toronto, Matt. What's the deal with that? Is that what he's doing?
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Any word?
Is he the official Drake correspondent too?
Like I mentioned,
what's going on?
Like I mentioned in the last podcast, I have never met Drake personally. You can put that on the record. I have never met him personally, so I don't know.
You guys don't have text between each other, DMs, whatever. They're all the same thing. Chris Broussard said it was. So.
Canadian mail to him.
All right.
Is that a little different from American mail?
Yeah, we have Beavers fucking carrying it.
That's interesting. Now, back to the actual finals. So, I think the series is leaning the Warriors' way, even when Klay Thompson. Not the Warriors. No, sorry, wrong team. Honestly, I didn't mean that. I meant Raptors. I had the thought in my head I said the wrong team because I was thinking of Klay. But I think the Raptors do have the edge in this series, even if Klay comes back, just because they have more home games and they could close it out before the Warriors. Now, I think one of the big things that isn't really being talked about, or may have been talked about in Game 1, but the Warriors' amount of turnovers. And I think that really has played a part in the Raptors winning these games. They're just very quick, bad shots. Like
Sloppy.
They're getting sped up. And that is to credit the Raptors as well, is that their defense, this is a team, they said it before, length distracts or frustrates shooters. So
I mean, after the last game, I don't think it frustrates Steph, dude. That guy shoots the lights out from inside the telephone. It makes no sense.
He really worked, though. He really worked.
Honestly, thank God neither for you two, guys, if the Raptors or the Sixers are not in Eastern Conference, can you imagine dealing with that shit for 4 games a year?
Yeah, I wouldn't like that. If that was my if I had to play the Warriors 4 times a year, I wouldn't enjoy that. Just watching that happen over and over. And you mentioned Steph can do that. I had no doubt, but we talked about it before the game when we watched it last night, Don. We were like, Steph has to go for like 40 for them to be in this game.
Listen, I'm a betting man. I don't see Steph putting up 40 next game, but they can. Steve Kerr and the coaching staff are going to find a way to wheel them all together, plus Draymond Green, and get them to win. Because Draymond Green's going to have to really will his way. Remember, just last night we were talking. I said he's got to put the arms up. Kind of gets your energy back into the arena when he flexes.
Yeah,
it's all about the flex. Right, Matt?
Yep.
It's all about the flex.
All about the flex.
So there needs to be something else. We're going to need to see Draymond Green do something, some blocks on the defensive end. I didn't really get as much out of him last game, I felt, from an energy standpoint. So on the defensive end. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll give my prediction now on Game 4, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
I think the bench, now this includes Boogie, is going to need to score 40 points for the Warriors to win this game, but I think they will do it, and the Warriors are going to win.
How are you going to include Boogie? He's going to start. What do you mean you can include Boogie in the bench?
No, I feel like they're going to make a little. I think he's going to come off the bench. Watch it.
Who are they going to start at center? Draymond?
No, they're going to have to. They're going to have to do something because they got to adjust something. There's going to be some type of adjustment. They might go small and then make Boogie come off the bench. They're going to do something. I don't know.
Again,
I really don't think
Boogie's
Boogie's going to start. He looked all out of sorts in Game 3. I don't know.
Afford to go small against the Raptors?
You got to do something.
Because
I'm not saying go small, but you might have to go more athletic.
If you go small against the Raptors, Siakam is going to feast.
You're going to have to beat them with athleticism then. So wherever that comes from.
The problem is the Raptors are one of the most athletic D teams in the league. Legitimately, every single player on that team can switch on any other player, right? And the Raptors can play their death lineup, which is death if they can bring out OG, and then you have imagine this lineup as a small ball lineup, okay? It's Lowry, Danny Green, Kawhi, Siakam, and OG.
Oh my God! All right.
How many minutes has OG played? Because you're piping him up.
Played 0, but but Prince he's coming out.
But I guess Boogie ain't coming off the bench, but whatever. Sometimes we mess shit up, but
You had to take that one back real quick.
Yeah, I'm taking it back.
See,
I'm reeling it back, but I mean, there needs to be some type of adjustment from Kerr, right? Is that what you have to expect? Or you can't just say, "Hey, go back out there and Steph, here goes the ball. Try to drop 40," because that ain't going to work.
He's going to have to drop 30. He's definitely going to drop 30.
It's what I'm trying to tell you, and it was what I was alluding to at the beginning. It feels like the Warriors are kind of just playing like, all right, don't worry, we're going to get our guys back, and this is going to be fine, and they're running out of time. Like, what adjustments did you make against this Raptors defense? You just kind of hope that Klay Thompson comes back, and you hope that Kevin Durant comes back, but they're running out of time, because if the Raptors win the next game, holy shit, it is 3-1 Raptors with 2 of those games, the next game's going to be at home. And I don't know. I don't like to get my hopes up with Raptors fans because I've been hurt in the past, but like it's almost impossible to think that the inevitable would happen if it's 3-1.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's never happened in the finals except for the Cavs.
Where are you riding with? I can't tell. I can't really tell where you're at with all this then. What do you see for Game 4? You don't see them dropping 2 games at Oracle, right? Are we being real?
Are you talking to me?
Are we?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I'll tell you, this is my prediction for Game 4, okay? The loser of the game will be the refs.
Oh, my God. The winners will be the fans. Yeah, it'll be such a great game, just like all the rest of them have been.
Well,
I'm guessing. I'm sorry.
Since you think the refs are going to win, I'm going to say, like I've said the whole time, like I'm basically the Warriors fan. I do think the Warriors will win with Klay. I don't think they'll drop 2 straight at Oracle, just because that's
tough to do that.
That's very unlikely. It only happened one other time. Can it happen again? Yeah, because it's been done before. But I can't see it in this one. But the Raptors do still have the advantage at this point in time.
It's just, it's hard. It's hard for me to, and I know the Warriors are favored in this game by Vegas's odds. And you think, it's the war. At the end of the day, we keep forgetting they're the Warriors. They're a dynasty. And even without Kevin Durant, they are a phenomenal team. But But now it's been 3 games, and you take away one bad 6-minute stretch in game 2, and this lineup with Klay Thompson just didn't get it done against the Raptors. Like, the Raptors have won 10 of 12 quarters, and in each game they go up by 10 at like early in the first half, and they kind of maintain that until halftime. And then in games 1 and 3, they never really got that close to getting it. And then honestly, in game 2, they came back and won that game. But they won that game in like an absolute battle at the end of that game, right? Like, neither team scored in the last 5 minutes of that game. Like, all you need is one Raptors 3 to go down in that game, and the Raptors actually win that game too. So
are the Warriors going to have to steal game 4 to win
it
this game?
almost feels like it, because now you have Klay Thompson, who's definitely not 100%, and now you don't even have Kevon Looney, right? So Kevon Looney's a very good player, and he's a center who can stay in front of pretty much anybody on the Raptors to a point. Like, I mean, he's a center at the end of the day, right? But like, he's not an absolute liability on defense. He's a very good defender. And so you're basically minus, let's say, 25% of Klay from game 1, and you're minus an entire Kevon Looney, and you're still thinking that, all right, yeah, the Warriors got this. They can't win. They can't lose to an Oracle. But it's a very plausible scenario where the Raptors win game 4 too, and then we get into this whole argument that, like, is Kevin Durant going to come back or not?
That's the crazy
3-1
part.
ain't easy. 3-1 ain't easy for KD to come back. I mean, he's no safe. I mean, I don't see a receding hairline on KD. I don't see what the chosen one on his back. It's a whole different man.
I got a question for you guys that I noticed, and it's not really basketball. Well, I mean, it's basketball related, but it's not gameplay related. What do you guys think of Kevin Durant not sitting on the bench for any of these games?
I haven't noticed, and I honestly I didn't really have any thoughts, but I don't know.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a Warriors thing where, like, if they're hurt, they're not playing. Like, I mean, Klay Thompson was sitting out there in legitimately game gear, right? I think he was wearing his jersey last night.
But the kicker, Matt, here was he had the ice around his ankle during the game, right? So, like, he was being tended to the medical staff to some degree.
Yeah, but they don't even get during the game, do they?
Well, listen. You want to get him back, or you want to get him back? I mean, you don't want him back.
That's 24 hours in the day. You can ice your ankle for the other 21 hours at the game's not
I bet that's what they were doing, though, because they're trying to get him back any way they could. And I really believe that they're really working him out like a lot of hours of the day. They're pulling out all the stunts. This is Kevin Durant. This dude puts a lot of money into his body, and usually this type of things don't happen. But now he's in a pickle. The Warriors are in a pickle.
Who knows?
So,
because that all makes so much sense, because they spend a lot of money on him anyway. He's one of the main reasons they are a dynasty. Like, it makes sense. It's possibly his last year. Everyone thinks he's leaving for whatever reason, even though Kenny Smith made a good point today on First Take. I was watching it just for a little bit. He said, why would you want to leave Golden State if you wanted to win in the first place? Like, it's pretty much not an easy win, but you're going to be in the finals every year. They have been.
mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so weird, because we're gonna see history possibly anyway. Like, say the Warriors do go down 3-1, and then somehow KD comes back in the perfect storybook way. Then they win. They flip it on themselves. They lost 3-1, they came back. But then if the Raptors win, you have a completely new contender in the league for 5 more years, because I believe that if they win the championship, they hold up Larry O'Brien, that Kawhi is staying there, and that puts them in contention for the Eastern Conference Finals every year.
I'll tell you what, that you bring this up. I actually think there's less of a possibility Kawhi stays if they win.
Wow, you think? Wow,
I think if they win the title, I think
he bounces.
There's like a mutual respect between everybody involved, between both parties, with Kawhi and Toronto, and they're just like, "Hey, we got the title. You're free to go. We know you want to go to LA, right?" Because
when you say Toronto, you mean the fans, the organization, or the whole?
I think anybody. I think we do. I think we build the statue for him if he leaves.
Oh my God!
If we win the title,
that Canadian love is crazy.
I think there's a statue going up in front.
Will he be smiling or no?
Oh, they'll be smiling. Dude, we have who cares, right?
I need him smiling out there.
Now, that's
if the Toronto Raptors win a title this year, because I think it's no secret, and I know that at the end of it, it's a little bit speculation because he obviously doesn't talk to the media or let out, but he does say that he values family the most, all right? And his family is from San Diego, and the closest team would be in LA. And so I think there's no doubt that in a vacuum he's going to LA no matter what, right? Let's say that the Clippers and the Toronto Raptors are offering the same team, same cap space, same future, he's going to the Clippers, I think, every single time. I think if they win a title in Toronto, it's kind of he's built his legacy. He went to one team for 1 year, got them a title, and then now he gets to do what he wants. And I think that he doesn't need to feel validated, but I think everybody kind of feels like that's fine, and that's actually a respectable decision because he did what he was brought there to do. He didn't complain.
Sure.
He gave his heart out, and good on you, dude. Now you deserve it. Go on to LA, no hard feelings.
That's a different perspective. I just think, I guess I'm thinking with the mentality is that you play to win the game, that famous quote. And if you won a title there before, and the same guys are still going to be there, then why not win it again? Who's a free agent for the Raptors? Danny Green is, right?
Danny Green's a free agent this year. So the Raptors are built, I think, beside this geniusly when he did the DeMar DeRozan. This is why the DeMar DeRozan trade was never it was a win-win in either way, right? Because you got Kawhi for a year, but if he left after that year, right, because that'd be considered a loss, especially if we didn't even make the finals or whatever. Let's say we lost to the Sixers in Game 7, right? If he leaves, that means you have Kyle Lowry, Marc Gasol, and Serge Ibaka all off the books, not this offseason, but the next offseason, which means you can all trade them at the deadline when you're tanking. You're not tanking, but you're not going to be good, obviously. You can be a meddling 6th or 7th seed in the East, maybe even 5th, right? But you have more opportunities to kind of just offload those guys to playoff contenders mid-season, and then you have loads of cap space going into it would be the 2020 offseason.
Anybody exciting in that?
No, there's actually nobody exciting in that one. But there is someone exciting in the next one.
This is.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
we don't have to look that far down the road.
And Giannis is very good friends with Masai. Because Masai is the guy that brought him to the United States.
No.
Oh,
that's not.
That's enough out of you.
I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna burst that bubble real quick.
Listen, worry about this. You're on a high right now, Matt. Let's just keep this high going.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah. Let's Siakam take over the squad. All right.
Well, we're also forgetting that when Kevin Durant loses to the Raptors in this finals, he's going to join them next year.
He'll be with them. Yeah. His next chapter. Going north.
That'd be pretty crazy. Honestly. You put KD on any team, it would be like.
I mean, you kind of have to respect it, right? If he did that, because he'd be self-aware.
At least he's consistent, yeah.
Self-aware.
That makes total sense. I think he'll wind up playing with Kawhi.
His childhood favorite team was the Toronto Raptors.
Where did he say that? No, for real, where did he say that?
I don't know about it.
He actually said that. He said his favorite team growing up was the Raptors.
Probably because of Vince Carter.
Vince Carter. Bro, that's cool.
I don't know. I like dinosaurs. It's Kawhi. I probably love the Raptors. Who doesn't like dinosaurs, dude?
Oh my god. That's why? Okay. What else is there to say about this series? I think it's just this is a really pivotal spot. I thought Game 3 was a big deal.
This is the biggest game of the series.
Possibly of the season.
Just based on, bodies. The bodies in the game is, Klay Thompson's going to have to play a big role, especially with him out to Game 3. They can't screw this one up. Let's get our Warriors. Let's go. Sorry, Matt. Listen, I really don't bring the hate in the text messages when we talk during the game. I try to keep it pretty good. All right? I wait till after. The winner to yell to dissect. But
I always just decide to go back and forth with
you guys are throwing heaters the whole time.
But it's just gonna be a good series. It's been good from now up until this point. So who has who in Game 4? We didn't get the official predictions.
Warriors by 3.
All right, Matt.
It's gonna be a good game. I don't give predictions.
Okay. So good game means Raptors win.
The refs are probably gonna. Will probably make a bad call at some point in the game, and I'll be upset.
That's true. I mean, I'll bet with you on that one.
Yeah, that's currently minus 10,000 on the Vegas odds.
Oh.
I think I'll go Warriors win as well, even though I've been saying every single game they'll win. But I just think if Klay comes back and puts up 20 at least, then I think they'll win. And Steph has kind of what he did, not 47 points, obviously. And then they just play defense well, and Draymond has 15. I think they'll be okay. But I'll go Warriors by 6. I think predicting scores is hard. I don't know how Vegas does it. That's one of the things that fascinates me with Vegas.
Here's a question for you guys. Do you think the Warriors score 109 again?
Why do you ask
that? They scored 109 points in all 3 of those games.
I'm going to go with no.
Wait, really?
But
yeah, they scored 109 legitimately all 3 games.
Well, that's funny.
That's crazy. And 109 points is supposed to beat the Raptors. That just goes to show you how great Van Fleet and Danny Green have been. But so shout out to them. Really, really shout out to them. The support players of the Raptors are really showing up so far in this season, this series. So
yeah, no, I was wrong my prediction where I said that you needed to hold the Warriors pretty much under 100 to win the game. I was off by about 10 points. You need to hold them to around 109 for most of it.
Oh, look at you, Matt. All right, well,
the last thing I completely forgot about this. What do you guys think about the Kawhi lawsuit coming out during the finals? About his claw logo.
That claw logo is sick.
I'm curious to see if New Balance has anything involved with this. You know, even if it's the back end lawyer influence, anything of that nature, I wouldn't be shocked if New Balance had their beak in this. So I don't like it.
I'll tell you what's interesting. And I think this lawsuit's been going on actually for a decent amount of time. I think it just came out in the finals, but I think it was interesting. The Clippers tried to buy out Nike.
I did read that.
The Clippers tried to buy out the logo from Nike so they could offer it to Kawhi as part of their free agency pitch.
That's so crazy.
I have no idea if that's legal or not. If that's like
that is brilliant. If that is, Jerry West owned one.
I mean, Steve Ballmer, that was probably his idea.
Oh, Steve really out here with the Microsoft money, boy.
Yeah, because he got money.
Do whatever he wants.
I had since you brought that up, and I had the thought process immediately when I read it. I was like, "This is crazy. Like, this will be a good amount of stress. He's hurt, and like he has to hear about this from whoever. I don't know. I don't think Kawhi has social media, so he doesn't see it, but he would have to hear about it at some point. And then just playing in the finals again, whatever. Playing at Oracle for the first time since being hurt. All this stuff is into it, but." Then I heard the point of, like, this is the most visibility Kawhi Leonard has ever right now. So why not make this a story that Nike took from me because I made the logo rights and they didn't credit me or license me or pay me in the specific way that in the legal way you're supposed to be paid. So I think it's smart. And now that they're winning the finals, it looks even better. Well, they're up in the finals. Like, it looks even better.
I hate to see it. I hate to see this whole thing because I'm a Nike boy. I really hate to see it.
Really? I mean, if they did them wrong, they did them wrong.
I can't. I don't comment on no Nike stuff.
Wow.
Checks over strikes, dog. All right.
You want Adidas in your life, let me not do this.
No, I don't rock with them anymore. It's a whole political thing. I don't even want to get into it. This is a basketball podcast. You know what I'm saying? But I'd like to bring up the fact that Carson Wentz got locked up with us. Good shit. You know, for all the other fans that, obviously probably watch football too. We locked the boy up for a good long time. So the Eagles fans are excited. Another Super Bowl, here we come. Then we can talk about a championship, Just. You know what I'm saying?
You guys and injured superstars. What is it with you guys? Wentz and injured.
All right. That's enough out of you. Just bring us home unless Matt's got any other words to say like that.
Board man gets paid.
You're right. Well, before you guys go, thank you for listening. Follow the Outlet Pass Podcast on Twitter @pass_podcast. Outlet Pass Podcast on Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Like, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. Subscribe, rate, review, subscribe. I said that twice. I mean, do all that, please. And again, thank you for listening. This has been the Outlet Pass Podcast, episode 24. Didn't even say it at the top. The ball being our opinions, and we're passing it out to you. Peace.